kind of slow for a war movie. Really? I don't know if I agree with that. I'll get into it in a second though. Well, let's take out the rating. I liked it. I liked Platoon. It had some it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good, I would say. Some things might have been a little ridiculous, but I don't, it's hard to really say. Because I wasn't in Vietnam, believe it or not. Um, so we'll start talking about it here. It's been too long since I've seen it. That's fair. That's fair. I thought I put it out there anyway. Platoon. Let's put it up here. And I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. If anyone redeemed anything or what have you. I just remember Willem Dafoe dying epically, and that is the first time I heard about this movie was when I watched Tropic Thunder. People told me that the opening scene, or one of the opening scenes anyway, where Ben Stiller's like slowly getting shot, that was from, or it was parodying Platoon. So from that time on, so I've known about this movie since high school, and I just watched it now for the first time. This is another one I've put on my list. I actually owned it on VHS, but I never got around to watching it on VHS. So now I watched it on Tubi. It was pretty good. Trevor Moore. That's a good quote. Thank you, the real Michael Jackson. Rock and roll, baby. But yeah, we're gonna get into this. Okay. So let's look it up on IMDb first of all. And then I'll start talking about the basic plot. And then we'll do rap music. Last review. Platoon 1986. There's also a video game called Platoon. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, by the way. How are you other than having COVID, Dizan Man? How are you, the real Michael Jackson? How are you, G-Bergs? What's up, everybody? I love y'all. Anyway, back to the shiznit. Platoon. So yeah, it's like we sort of briefly mentioned, it is a Vietnam War movie. There's a lot of big name actors in this. Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Willem Dafoe. There's a ton of actors that are huge. They're just in it for a little bit, like Johnny Depp, Forrest Whitaker. There's tons. I can't even begin to get them all, but yeah, Charlie Sheen's sort of like the main character. He's like a new recruit. There's some disturbing bits in it. It's a well-made film, obviously. One of the main things I would say negative about it is that it's just sort of, some of the things seem maybe a little exaggerated. Like for instance, again, I don't really know, but maybe it was exactly like this. I couldn't really say. But it just seemed weird to me from watching this from a film standpoint, where all these army guys there's like a secret tent where they're all doing the drugs and stuff, but it's like but it's in like the main camp. I know that there was people doing drugs and stuff in Vietnam, but I don't know if it was that much camaraderie, like there's that many people do it. That just seemed a little weird. Little things like that, just like mild things that seemed like maybe exaggerated a little bit, or maybe they're not, but some of the things seemed that way to me. Yeah, sort of a nitpick, but that was like one of the main things, because this is a well-made film. It's exciting. It maybe drags a little bit of times. Dylan Gatton's, there's the main sort of plot point is that the platoon ends up sort of being mad at each other because Barnes, who is the sergeant played by Tom Berenger, and Willem Dafoe sort of have an issue of morals, and Willem Dafoe wants to get Tom Berenger court-martialed or whatever, or like in trouble with the army and the government, and so they're not a fan of each other. But fuck, and I don't think this is sort of spoilers alert, I guess. But I don't think that's bad. It's a big deal. It's like in the middle-ish, maybe a little bit more than the middle-ish of the film. But Tom Berenger kills Willem Dafoe and blames it on the Vietnamese. And obviously, there's lots of racism in this. But I think that part probably is realistic. They call, and I'm going to say it once and only once, please forgive me. I mean no disrespect. They call the Vietnamese gooks in this. I won't say it again. I feel bad even saying it once. But they say it so much, and it's gross. But it's that's probably realistic. The Vietnamese were demonized into being the villain, and so that sort of derogatory term would make sense for it to come along with that. So I can't really fault the film for doing that. But apparently Tom Berenger in an interview did something like saying, he kept saying I'm not gonna say it, but the G word, you know what I'm saying, the slur of the Vietnamese. He kept saying that in an interview, and Dylan Gatton, my buddy at work, said that he wasn't sure if it was him like being the character or if it was actually Tom Berenger. But I hope it was the character. I hope it was just him being the character. But who knows? Tom Berenger would be crazy. Too many Nam movies? There's a lot of Nam movies. That's fair. Oh, you were thinking about Full Metal Jacket. That's also fair. But yeah, the main Nam movies I think I would say would be this. Apocalypse Now, a lot of people say is like the best one. And then Full Metal Jacket, of course. But I would put, I don't know, I might like this more than both of those, actually. Like, I quite liked this. It was good. Good acting. Some things I didn't expect. Some things I was sort of like, I wonder what's gonna happen. I kind of felt it. But other things were surprising, and it's well written. And mostly realistic. Like I said, some things feel a little exaggerated, but it seems mostly realistic. Forrest Gump is. I guess there is Nam in Forrest Gump, isn't there? I forgot about that. There's a scene in the book where he goes to the fucking moon and has a pet monkey. I want that version of the Forrest Gump. But anyway, back to Platoon. Let's look at the cast. So, like I said, Johnny Depp. Oh yeah, and John C. McGinley, also known as Dr. Cox. He's in one of my favorite TV shows, Scrubs. Coxy boy. So as soon as I see him, I'm like, oh yeah, motherfucking hell yeah. Kevin Dillon, I feel like is probably Matt Dillon's brother, but because he looks like him, and the same last name, but I don't know. I would guess yes though. And who else is in this? Like I said, Forrest Whitaker, Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Willem Dafoe. There's some other folks. I think I've said all the most famous ones though. Let's see. This movie won 4 Academy Awards, I think. This was a big deal film. And let's check out the box office. So $6 million budget. What? That's not that crazy. I think this is a lot of people when they weren't that big. A lot of big actors when they weren't that big. So maybe that's why they were still able to keep the budget down. Although it's a war movie too. Like things exploded. That's pretty crazy that it was only $6 million. I guess in 1986 too. So, money was worth more. But still, it grossed 138 million. So it was a huge hit. And as well critically. So that's cool. And it's not a bad movie, but it is sort of like, it's sort of what I would expect to a certain extent. So, except for a couple of the turns, but it seems a lot like a Vietnam movie, like what a Vietnam movie would be in my brain. Like, it's just them fighting. With movies like The Deer Hunter, there's a lot of other shit. With Apocalypse Now, there's a lot of other shit. With the Full Metal Jacket, there's a lot of other shit. This is all pretty much, they're in they're fighting. That's pretty much the whole thing. Obviously, there's talking too, but it's a movie. There's gonna be talking, but that's pretty much it. If that makes any sense. And of course, more like this: The Deer Hunter, Apocalypse Now, The Full Metal Jacket, Rocky. What? Okay, IMDb. They brothers. Okay, I knew it. I felt it. I felt it in my soul. Rambo. Yeah, Rambo is a little more like it. Even here's that Rambo now movie, right? Number 2, I think. Yeah, I'm sure of it. That sounds right. Or does he come from Vietnam in the first movie? I've seen the first 3 Rambos, I think. That's about it. Yeah, I guess is there only 4, or is there, how many Rambos is there? How many Rambos? Yeah, he's a Nam-vet, that's right, that's what I thought. But yeah, this movie though, back to Mother Love and Platoon. Yeah, why wouldn't they say Rambo instead of Rocky? It's more like this than Rocky. But anyway, this movie is pretty good. It says 8.1 out of 10. I probably did enjoy this more than It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World, and it has a better rating. So this time I agree. Obviously, rating's always relative, and they're not always going to be how you feel about a film, but they're kind of fun to look at, I would say. And it's fun to give your ratings. I feel like, even though, and I've said this before, when I give a rating, chances are it's going to change. It's just always how it goes. You know, opinions change, your feelings change, your tastes change throughout the years. You know, you might like things more or less as the years go on, depending on the thing. It's hard to say, right? Yeah, First Blood Part 2, he goes back to Nam and fights with that chick. So many Rambos. It's true. So many Rambos, not enough time. But anyway, Platoon, war movie, Willem Dafoe. You know, there's a couple things that I was trying to think that they sort of didn't make sense. I can't think of them now, so they must have not been that important. But just little nitpicky things. I just want to mention that real quick. And yeah, some things a little exaggerated. I already said that though. But that's to be expected for a film too. And the acting's all pretty good. Charlie Sheen's narration is good. The effects are great. The cinematography is beautiful. It's, you know, it's exciting at times. It was sort of hard, some of the editing, it was sort of hard to follow what was going on at certain times. But I think I had to rewind a couple times, like, wait, what happened there? Who got shot there? That kind of thing. But pretty exciting. And honestly, this isn't my favorite genre of movie, but, you know, I like to watch anything. I like any kind of movie. So I wanted to give it a go. Screen button. So I wanted to give it a go. And yeah, I liked it though to a certain extent. It's not my favorite film of all time, obviously. Pootie Tang is, but I like this, and it might even be my new favorite war movie. It's be up there anyway. I liked it. Generally, it's well made. I think that's enough. I think we're gonna end the reviews, because I'm running out of stuff to say, and then we'll be getting to the rap music section of the stream. So please stick around if you want to boogie down. But for the time being, let's just where's my juice? Oh yeah, it's right here. I'm almost out of this juice. Good thing I got more juice in the cabinet. I'm in the fridge. Oh yeah, that's good juice. Alright. Platoon. Let's put on a beat while we do this real quick too, for fun. This is 220 from Turn Up Music SK. I'm gonna give this, it's solid. You know, it's pretty solid. It's good. A couple nitpicks, but it's a well-made film. I can't deny it. I'm just gonna give it a straight up 8. I think that's fair. 8 out of 10, Doug. Is it perfect? No, but not everything is. Only Pootie Tang is perfect. Obviously, I'm joking. All is perfect in the eye of the beholder. If you like something, you know, it's perfect to you. But I did like this. Platoon, 8 out of 10, Dogs. Not bad for a Vietnam War movie. You know, there's a lot of them. I kind of enjoyed it. More than kind of, maybe. It's a well-made film. You know, I'd recommend it. It's also on Tubi if you want to check it out. Platoon, 8 out of 10, Dogs.